All right, we should be live on Twitter. Welcome to Gamcast for Monday evening. Tonight's topic is, can American citizens be extradited to a country such as Britain for breaking their law? Folks, listen to this gentleman, this police officer over in Britain's got people stirred up last couple days about threatening to expedite Americans. Take a listen.
We will throw the full force of the law at people. And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen...
She's going to ask him a question. Before she does that, folks, if you're listening to us, if you would, like, comment, share, and subscribe. It's very important. I couldn't tell you how important it is. It really does help content creators out. Not just me. Anyone you like, you're doing them and our culture a favor by doing that. So, folks, let me just give you the simple answer for those of you who like to tune in, and there are some of you. I don't know who you are, but you're out there for like 30 seconds. The short answer is no. You first have to have an extradition treaty. We have an extradition treaty with all but about 3 countries in the world. But the big problem is you also have to have broken a law in America. So what he's about to say here is not true. It would be a violation of their law, but it would not be a violation of our law. So those of you who want to stick around and learn a little bit about the First Amendment and how the law works and how the procedure works, I'm going to go through it. So she's going to ask him a nonsense question, but you have to understand, folks, there's 2 things you have to understand that's going on here. All right. One is they don't have a First Amendment. You don't have the right to free speech in Great Britain. You just don't. You don't have the right to free speech in all of Europe. It's a right you uniquely have as an American. You have to understand that. Number 2, their biggest immigration group, because nobody's having kids anymore all around the world, right, except in poorer countries. You're not having kids. So you got to get your labor and you got to get your young people from somewhere. Luckily for us, the people that we bring in, by and large, are Christians, right? They may not speak our language in all cases, but they're Christians. What they're bringing in is Muslims, and I don't want to hear about it's a religion of peace or whatever. It's not for time for another day. The point is they don't assimilate as well. Just that simple. So that's why they have the problem. And listen to this nonsense question from a quote-unquote journalist.
High-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact.
I mean, whipping up the hatred. Good God, these people. They're insufferable.
Being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard, maybe in a different country?
In a different country. Before you hear his answer, folks, I want you to think about this. Think about 10 years ago. Would you have heard this out of the mouth of somebody in Great Britain, France, Ireland, Scotland? You just go down the list. No, not especially, she mentions Americans. This is absurd. And it's not going to happen, but it is dangerous that they have gotten to the point. And I understand they got problems, and these elites, they think if you would stop being mean to the Muslims, they would stop rioting. They really think that's the problem. Anyway, here's his answer.
Does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we will come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the yobs who are causing the problems for communities.
All right, here's the problem he has, folks. Now let me just give you the breakdown of how it works. I had to look this up. This is the code relating to extradition by the Department of Justice. It's taken from the code that's written out there. So here's the way it happens. England, Great Britain, this guy, whatever, they would have to make an extradition request to the United States. That goes to the Secretary of State. The Secretary of State would then investigate it. If they determine that you had broke British law, he thinks you have. Did you break American law? That answer would be no. They would ask the Department of Justice to file a claim in the local federal district in which you reside. I currently reside in the Northern District of Georgia. They would go to the Northern District of Georgia. I would be able to present my case and say, it is not incitement. It is not illegal here, and that should be the end of it. If the judge got it wrong, I could appeal it. So the simple answer is you've got judicial protection here. Even if the executive, in this case Biden administration, got it wrong, you would be able to go to a judge and get it right. And just so you understand, we've gone this before, and I'll put a link in for those of you on Rumble, Facebook, and others where I can put some comments in there. I'll link to the prior video I did if you want to know a little bit about the First Amendment. But the basics of the First Amendment are incitement and requires direct incitement, not just comments, and it has to actually likely lead to violence. So no way, no how you being a keyboard warlord is going to be enough to get it done. So folks, now you know you can't be extradited. Hope you feel better, and I hope you do subscribe, like, comment. So I'll see you on the next one.